Let's go ahead and bring in a nuclear expert who says the government plan is actually a disappointment. Mycle Schneider is the author of the World Nuclear Industry Status Report. He joins me now live via Skype from Ottawa, Canada. Mycle, let me ask you a couple of questions here. You've heard some of the details of this $320 million plan. It's not chump change for sure. What do you make of it? Because there are a lot of problems going on with this plan, and we know they're going to be going on for decades. Is this a good fix?
Well, I'm indeed very disappointed about this announcement because, the technical side of it will be extremely complicated to start with. It's a technique that has been used on a very small scale for, shaft engineering or tunnel construction or cases like this, but on very small sections. We're talking about a length that reportedly is over 1 kilometer long, so it has never been done. The other point, which is a real problem, is that it's not a final solution for stabilization, and it's a so-called active system. So you actually need power, and a lot of power actually, to run this and make it operable, keep it operable. Now, we've seen over the past couple of years that there have been power cuts more than once. You recall that there were even cases with a rat getting into the system good enough to cut it down. So I'm indeed very disappointed. I thought this was a perfect occasion for the Japanese Prime Minister to make an announcement in the Olympic international spirit to say, well, we have problems dealing with this. Let's get together sort of an Olympic team of experts, an international task force, Fukushima, and let's develop concepts in order to durably, sustainably stabilize the site. This will not be done with that program as it stands currently.
So, Mycle, you're talking about basically bringing experts in from all over the world, the best in the field, to try and deal with what is a fairly massive problem for Japan. I do want to ask you this. I mean, how dangerous is the situation there at this point? Every week, it seems, we hear that something else has gone wrong and that there's another leak and that it's worse than initially thought.
Absolutely, and it has been confirmed, yesterday in a big press conference by the head of the regulation authority that he has confirmed the situation is not stable. In other words, you will hear, over the weeks and months to come of more leaks and more problems. Now we're looking at the water problem. Indeed, it is one of what I would think, two very major issues, because the amount of radiation that is in that quantity of water is equivalent roughly to 3 times the amount that was released at the Chernobyl accident. So it's a massive amount of radioactivity that is stored there. And the tanks, as we've seen, they're makeshift tanks. So question number one, a new earthquake, will those tanks resist? What about corrosion? This is, seawater, and it's in seawater area, so the atmosphere is charged with salt. Corrosion is very fast in that kind of atmosphere. And then we have, the situation that, can you imagine such a tank, or more than one tanks, breaking down in an aftershock or a new earthquake? So, it is a very dangerous situation, and it's by no means stabilized. That would be the case if the tanks are emptied and if the spent fuel, which is another major source of concern, is taken out of the spent fuel pools.